Hello, scholars. This is Miss Franklin. I'm coming with just an update as to what you guys will be doing today. Today's lesson is really set up for you guys to be able to maneuver through independently. So, first, we're going to start out with our celebration of women, and then we're going to go into copying our learning goal. Your learning goal for today is I will demonstrate the ability to write an expository essay by explaining whether it is better to stand by or to stand up. Today's lesson is about activism and taking a stand against the injustices that are going on in society. Maya Angelou says that we have to determine or develop the courage to stand up for ourselves, then go back and stand up for others as well. So today, you will be writing a paper about that. Within today's lesson, you will be empowered with information that you can use for your paper. For example, your vocabulary word for the day is activism, the policy or action of using vigorous campaigning. Campaigning means you're going after it. You're in a rush. You're in a work to make it happen, to bring about the social or political change that you're working with. Again, this is all about standing up. And in order for you to practice activism or for you to be an activist, it requires taking a stand. Our highlight person for today is Dolores Gorta. Gorta, she worked with Cesar Chavez, and she indeed was a person who knew how to take a stand and to fight. She is indeed an activist, and we celebrate Miss Dolores today. You will also do your practice writing. In your practice writing, you will go through the writing process, remembering that the first thing you do is to identify the topic. So why should we stand up? The topic is stand up. And then you're going to think of a reason, just one reason, because you only have 2 minutes. One reason as to why you should stand up. Once you have identified the one reason for standing up, you may want to think about or even include in your response the definition to standing up. What does standing up mean? Then you want to think of examples or evidence of how can I stand up? Do I know anyone who has stood up? And you want to include that example and explain. And finally, in your last portion of your response, you definitely want to go back to your thesis statement and identify again why it is important that we stand up. Why does that matter? Why does it matter for you? Why does it matter for the world? As you're going through, you will get into your read aloud for today. Your read aloud for today, again, is over Miss Dolores Gorta. And you will answer a couple questions, either mentally or writing them down. Remember, everything that you're doing can be used and should be used for evidence to build your paper that you will write at the end of the day. You will also hear a very short piece of How to End Racism by Miss Dolores. For this piece, I only want you to listen to about 1.5 minutes of it. You do not listen to the whole piece. We don't have time. But she is modeling how to structure an essay by stating your topic and giving evidence and explaining. So she is modeling that process. You have another example that you can use in your writing with Ida B. Wells. She was also an activist fighting for women's rights and women during the women's suffrage movement. She created her own. And if you read her piece and summarize it, you can use her as an example of why it is important to stand up, or what are some things that we do to stand up. Very important page will be slide 9. I suggest that you utilize slide 9 as a checklist when you're finished writing your paper. And I also suggest that you use it as a guide as you are preparing to write your paper. And another very important slide, just to get you thinking and setting up your ideas before you get into your paper, I would suggest that you look at slide 10 and actually do it. Would you rather stand up or stand by? State your reasons. Try to come up with at least 2. 3, maybe pushing it for the amount of space that you have to write, but definitely 2 reasons would be good. So 2 or 3 reasons. Or if you can give 1 reason and really extend on it with evidence and examples, 1 reason then will suffice. And then finally, you'll get down to slide 11. Slide 11 is your actual writing test. You will have 45 minutes to do the test, and it is my strong suggestion that you actually hit the timer as you're going to the different slides, because that timer will keep you on track. By the end of today, you must have your assessment completed and submitted. So please make sure that you get that in today. And finally, slide 12 is just a reminder that last week we wrote a final copy, and that final copy must be submitted. It is a grade, a test grade for this 6 weeks. So please make sure that your final copies are in. Even though I'm not giving zeros, you will get a 50, which is a failing grade on a test assignment. So please don't put Miss Franklin in a bad position where she has to try to be creative and really give you grace and mercy and love in a way that you really don't need it, because you know what you need to do. So please make sure that you get that done. Again, today is an independent day. I hope you have an awesome day. I hope you enjoy this lesson. The students yesterday enjoyed the lesson, and I only had one class that struggled with doing what they were supposed to do because they didn't do what they were supposed to do. So let's make sure that we get our work done. Thank you.